This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 19th day of July in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. When the National Assembly meets on Thursday, it will debate the Foreign Judgments Reciprocal Enforcement Bill. The bill is being seen as a modern piece of legislation. If it's passed, it will allow for foreign judgments, particularly those involving finance, to be recognized and enforced here in Guyana and abroad. The proposed legislation covers monetary judgments and non-monetary judgments involving regional and international companies, as well as orders handed down in civil proceedings for the payment of a lump sum of money as financial provision for the maintenance of a spouse or former spouse or child in 6 countries, including Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Belize, Canada, China, Dominica, the Bahamas, South Africa, Trinidad and Tobago, the U.S., and the United Kingdom. Attorney General Anand said the legislation will save time and money.
Litigation is expensive. So if you obtain a judgment in Guyana, you don't have to relitigate if the defendant escapes and sets up shop in another country. You can simply take your judgment and have it enforced in that country and seize whatever property the judgment debtor has in that country rather than relitigating in that country.
The Attorney General said in drafting the legislation, Guyana was guided by the Commonwealth model and further consulted with legal luminaries in Singapore and other countries. The Attorney General said the legislation forms part of the government's efforts to modernize the country's legislative landscape and will significantly benefit the commercial community.
It's a bill that is very significant to the commercial community. It's a bill that will inspire investors' confidence, and it's a bill that will put Guyana in the lead, at least in the CARICOM region, of having the most modern law of its type.
The proposed legislation is intended to repeal the Foreign Judgments Reciprocal Enforcement Act. In February, a Trinidadian company, Davis Ecolife, was ordered to repay the National Data Management Authority more than $6.1 million over its failure to supply the authority with 2 ecopods. The judgment was handed down by High Court Judge Gino Posada. However, it is unclear whether the government has been able to recover the money from the foreign company. Under the proposed legislation, the administration would be in a better position to recover proceeds from similar judgments. More news coming up in a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Oh my lord. I just love to shop in this store. My customers, them gonna love all these things. So many different things in one place. Household items, electronics, toys, stationery, confectionery, exercise equipment, shoes and clothes for men, women and children, school things, costume, jewelry, perfume, makeup. Oh, look the makeup!
Giftland Office Max, Guyana's favorite department store.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
Are you looking for for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy, now enrolling grades 7, 8, and 9 students for the 2023-2024 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 613-4806.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 2260-415-7. Comfortable parking available.
Let's tell you now that the production of gold and bauxite declined in the first quarter of this year as the country's economy continues to be fueled heavily by the oil and gas sector. That's according to the latest report from the Bank of Guyana. The report said the oil sector production continued to contribute greatly to the growth of the overall economy, while the non-oil economy experienced moderate growth, specifically in the sectors of agriculture, manufacturing, and construction, as well as services. With the exception of oil, sand and stone, the mining and quarrying sectors contracted. The report said oil production totaled 34 million barrels at the end of March this year, a significant increase from the end of March last year of 10.9 million barrels. Similarly, declaration of crushed stone and sand increased by 63.3% and 50.6% as construction activities throughout the country kept the demand high. Bauxite production dropped by 17.8% when compared to the same period in the previous year. According to the Bank of Guyana, the decline was mainly due to a 30.1% decrease in the production of refractory aggregate supercalcined bauxite. Similarly, gold declarations fell by 5.3% as local and licensed dealers' declarations contracted by some 23.9%. However, the report noted the declarations from the Aurora Gold Mining Company, Jin Mining subsidiary in Guyana, the sole operating foreign company, increased by 65.4% when compared to the same period a year prior. Meanwhile, in the agriculture and forestry sector, rice production achieved a 36.5% increase to 110,932 metric tons when compared to the previous year. It was explained that the increase in production was as a result of favorable weather conditions, which allowed for an increase in yield. Similarly, sugar production increased by 14.7%. But in the forestry sector, the Bank of Guyana reported that the sector contracted by 16.3% as a result of the significant decline in the output of logs by 19.7%. The manufacturing sector registered increased production of biscuits by 57.5%, stock feed by 38.7%, paints by 30.6%, industrial flour by 20.1%, and the total aerated drinks by 4.1%. In contrast, there were declines in production of total pharmaceutical liquids by 45.6% and alcoholic beverages by 5.2%. The Bank of Guyana report said construction activities continued its rapid growth in both the public and private sectors. Additionally, the performance in the services sector was boosted in the areas of wholesale and retail trade and repairs. The Guyana Public Service Union has moved to the High Court to challenge the appointment of Mohandat Gulsaran as one of the members of the Public Service Commission. The GPSU is challenging the appointment on the grounds that the Public Service Senior Staff Association had no authority to nominate him to the commission through the National Assembly. The challenge comes just days after President Irfanali reconstituted the commission with the appointment of 6 members, including Gulsaran. Gulsaran is one of 2 persons who were nominated by the National Assembly after consultation with the Guyana Public Service Union and the Public Service Senior Staff Association. However, the GPSU is challenging the ability of the Public Service Senior Staff Association to nominate a commissioner on the grounds that it is not accredited by the Trade Union Recognition Board. Attorney General Anil Nandlal, while addressing the matter last evening, said more than 20 years ago the National Assembly identified both the GPSU and the Public Service Senior Staff Association as the two organizations to be consulted with regards to nominations to the PSC. He said 10 years ago the National Assembly passed a resolution recognizing the association and its ability to submit nominees following a motion.
After 20 years, the GPSU suddenly awakes from a slumber and begins now to challenge legally the qualification of this body to send nominee. In my view, this is a disguised attempt to sabotage constitutional democracy and to sabotage the work of the government.
The GPSU said Gulsaran's appointment was not birthed out of a constitutional and legal process and is therefore, in its view, in breach of the Constitution. But the Attorney General said the Constitution does not indicate that unions and unions alone ought to be consulted.
Challenging an organization that has been sending nominees 20 years without challenge. Suddenly GPSU wakes up and says that this organization is not proper. And why? Because this organization did not comply or did not receive certification from the Trade Union Recognition Board. This constitution here doesn't speak about anything to do with trade union.
According to the Constitution, of the 6 commissioners to serve on the Public Service Commission, 2 members ought to be appointed by the President upon nomination by the National Assembly, after it will have consulted with such bodies as appear to represent public officers or classes of public officers.
Traveling soon? Then come into John Lewis Styles on Waterloo Street and let's help you choose the right set of luggage. You can choose to buy 3-piece luggage sets, or separate pieces, but the sets are always a better deal. Either available in soft poly, or ABS hard side material, with 4-wheeled spinners, and in many colors too. Also available are carry-on luggage, computer bags, duffel bags, backpacks, travel pillows, blankets and lots more to make your trip enjoyable. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Who knows if they actually need the roads that are being built.
So okay na, champ. I passed here last week and this shop lock up tight.
Why? We come down with the flow, so we have to take a couple of days.
I can't deal with them kind of setbacks, Bano. I just get a headache when you see I can't make me little bread.
I know them ways, champ. But thank God for NIS.
NIS? What you got to do now with NIS?
I mean, what I gotta do in NIS? I registered as self-employed and I make monthly contributions to NIS. So you see, for them days I lose, NIS pay me back for most of them days.
What? That's good. You know, I always used to believe that it's only people in big offices and sellers pay NIS.
Nah man, NIS for any working person between the ages of 16 to 60. And as self-employed, you get all the benefit as an employee except for industrial benefits.
So what I gotta do for set up this thing?
All I gotta do is visit NIS on breakdown, or if you're living out of town, you visit any NIS closest to your location. And once you register and your registration complete, you can start making NIS contributions.
Alright, so what I gotta work with and like how much money I gotta pay a month?
I ain't gotta work with no big money. All I gotta work with is your birth certificate and any farm ID. And when you reach down there, ask for the compliance department.
Good. Thanks for the information, bro. Soon as I left here, I went straight to the NIS office.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Well, opposition member of parliament and former magistrate Gita Chandan Edmund is calling on the government to formulate and implement a proper policy to address the current crime situation across the country. While the police force reports that overall serious crimes are down, the force has admitted that there has been an increase in cases of murder and other violent crimes. In a statement today, the opposition member of parliament who overlooks security matters said there is nothing being done at a policy level that can induce confidence among the people that efforts are being made to tackle the crime situation. She said the Guyana police force remains highly politicized, with no crime plan, while the Ministry of Home Affairs appears to have no clue on how to address the situation. Chandan Edmonds said the criminal justice system is on its knees in Guyana. She noted that the situation has reached the point where investors in the oil and gas sector have been issuing internal security memos that advise their employees on the dangerous security situation that exists in parts of the country. The MP said, coupled with those warnings, the U.S. Embassy continues to maintain its advisory, warning American citizens about the crime situation that exists in Guyana. The opposition member of parliament also said the government needs to arrest the crime situation and allow citizens to feel safe and secure in their homes and communities. Last week, the acting police commissioner Clifton Hicken reported that a number of plans are being implemented to address crime in the country. He said the force has been making some headway in its fight, with many cases being solved. One of the country's top onshore support facility for the oil and gas sector, Guyana Shore Base, has announced the launch of its technical scholarship program, which will be aimed at supporting educational opportunities for persons between the ages of 16 and 25 at the various technical institutes across the country. In a statement, the organization said the scholarships will be available at the Essequibo Technical Institute, the Government Technical Institute, the Linden Technical Institute, the Myconic Technical Institute, the New Amsterdam Technical Institute, and the Upper Quarantine Technical Institute. And the scholarships will be available for the 2023-2024 academic year. The initiative will cover expenses such as travel, uniforms, study materials, registration, and examination fees, among others. The program is designed to offer internships to successful applicants during their semester breaks, so that they can gain valuable hands-on training and knowledge transfer. At the end of their studies, they will also be afforded the opportunity to be fully employed with the company. General Manager at Guyana Shore Base Robert Albiez said that the company wanted to create a program which will benefit young Guyanese and ensure they are equipped with valuable life skills and positively engaged as they learn more about the oil and gas sector. With the Demerara Harbour Bridge announcing a 3-day closure from the 24th to the 27th of July, water taxi operators plying the Georgetown to Vreeden Hoop route have agreed to work around the clock for those days to transport persons across the river. The Harbour Bridge, in announcing the lengthy bridge closure, said that the closure is necessary to facilitate the replacement of span 9 of the bridge. During a meeting with the Coast Guard and Maritime Administration, the boat operators agreed not to hike their fares. MARAD's Director General, Captain Stephen Thomas, in brief remarks, assured the operators that his office will provide the necessary security along the waterways during the period they will be working, acknowledging that it is beyond the work hours of boat operators. Additional measures such as the increased Coast Guard patrols and the setting up of police outposts at the Georgetown and Breeden Hoop stellings to ensure there is no spike in crime due to the high volume of passengers will also be implemented by the Joint Task Force team, which is made up of the Guyana Police Force, the Coast Guard, and the Maritime Administration. A rescue boat and a water ambulance will also be on standby. Persons are being asked to exercise caution when getting in and leaving the water taxis. A call has also been made for persons to give first priority to the elderly and persons living with disability. The Guyana Defense Force has also offered the use of 4 30-seater buses to shuttle persons on the west bank of the Demerara from the Demerara Harbor Bridge to Breeden Hoop. Prolonged closure of the Demerara Harbor Bridge in the past resulted in chaos on both sides of the river. The authorities are now working overtime to ensure that there is a smooth flow for the 3 days when the bridge will be closed.
Did you know that Gassi's Jet A1 fuel is a type of aviation fuel specially formulated for turbine engines? Jet A1 fuel is safer to handle and transport than any other fuel types due to its high flash point and low volatility. It also boasts a high energy content, enhancing aircraft performance and efficiency. So whether traveling for business or pleasure, choose Guyana's Jet A1 fuel for a safe, reliable, and efficient flight.
Sorry.
Jack?
Hey.
Boys, where you going with all that speed?
Yo, today's the 15th. My NIS contributions are due, and I ain't even get the forms as yet.
Hold on. You mean to tell me that you're not aware that all self-employed persons can now make their NIS contributions using the MMG app from the comforts of their homes and offices?
Really? I just pay my bills using MMG,
Yes, Jack. And the thing's simple. All you have to do is open the app, select Pay Bills, Government Services, NIS, and Pay. They will prompt you to enter your NIS number, the month you're paying for, and the amount.
So I don't need to submit any form?
No. The only time you submit in a form is when you're making a claim.
Wait. I could make a claim too?
Oh, no, man. You didn't know that? Yes. All self-employed persons are entitled to all benefits from NIS. Well, except for the industrial benefits. And here's the good part. All of their forms, you can download them from the NIS website.
Well, girl, I'm really glad I bumped into you.
Anyhow, make sure you pay your bills later.
Later? I gotta sit down right here and pay my contributions first.
Take care.
For further information, please visit the website at www.nis.org.gy, the National Insurance Scheme Facebook page, or your nearest NIS office.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor at the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Look who's in the mix now. The new Buster Soda Water. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 artificial flavors. 100% refreshing. Taste Buster Soda Water today. Buster Soda Water, now available for only $120.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall. In the region, the Caribbean Development Bank has committed US $1.8 million to support the development of the region's creative industries. In a statement today, the CDB said its board has approved the injection into the institution's Creative Industries Innovation Fund, a multi-donor endowment established in 2017 to encourage innovation, job creation, and improved enterprise sustainability within the sector. CDB's Director of Projects, Daniel Best, said the bank is pleased to support the creative industry at a time when it faces a number of challenges, including lack of resources. Best said the bank anticipates support for trade and export facilitation, marketing and distribution, human resource development and research, as well as the development of legal and policy frameworks in the 19 borrowing member countries. Globally, the creative economy is recognized as a growth sector and a meaningful contributor to gross domestic product, having the capacity to spur innovation and knowledge transfer across all sectors of the economy. The CDB said it is a critical sector to foster inclusive development, processing both commercial and cultural value, while presenting opportunities for human imagination and spreading important social and cultural values. A Panamanian court sentenced former President Ricardo Martinelli to more than 10 years in prison for money laundering, the Attorney General's office said on Tuesday, threatening the frontrunner's bid for a new term next year. Martinelli stated his innocence following the decision in the case, known as New Business, which alleges public funds were used to buy a media conglomerate and give the ex-president a majority stake. Declaring that he has no ties to illicit funds, Martinelli said his conviction was politically motivated. 4 others were also sentenced on Tuesday for their involvement in the scheme, according to a statement from the Attorney General's office. Martinelli was ordered to pay a $19.2 million fine, in addition to serving 128 months in prison. The former president's defense intends to appeal the sentence and exhaust all the legal avenues available. And finally tonight, international news. Russian missile attacks on Ukraine's Black Sea coast have destroyed 60,000 tons of grain and damaged storage infrastructure, officials say. BBC in a report said Russia has pulled out of a deal guaranteeing safe passage for exports across the Black Sea. Earlier today, Russia's President Vladimir Putin accused the West of using the grain deal as political blackmail. He added he would consider rejoining the international agreement in place since last summer, only if all principles under which Russia agreed to participate in the deal are fully taken into account and fulfilled. His comments came shortly after Russia's defense ministry declared that from midnight on Wednesday, any ship heading to Ukrainian ports would be viewed as potential carriers of military cargo and party to the conflict. Some northwestern and southeastern areas of the Black Sea would be temporarily dangerous for shipping, it added. Russia began targeting Ukraine's ports in the early hours of Tuesday, within hours of its withdrawal from the grain deal. More strikes followed overnight into Wednesday, targeting grain terminals and port infrastructure. At least 12 civilians, including a 9-year-old boy, were wounded during the attacks, which also caused damage to blocks of flats, military officials said. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky said each missile strike was a blow not just to Ukraine, but to everyone in the world striving for a normal and safe life.
And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.